LGD are talking about that right now, like, hey, what do we do in this situation? They still go with the Galio ban. I expect the TF, like you just said. I expect the TF.
First pick, Twisted Fate. Order up and send it. Now, Ash has been the go-to here, Lyric. We know how these pick and bans work. We're getting into our Game 3, our final, you know, cannoli, as it were.
Yes.
Of these two teams.
That is what it is.
Ash and what?
I'm interested to see, do you go for something like a Syndra, and instead of this time playing through like mid pressure to sides, just bring your pressure mid and try to find those, you know, solo kills. Not even solo kills, but, you know, setting up jungle.
Set up your 2v2.
Exactly, there we go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I self-5'd.
But yes, actually, can confirm, he did self-5.
But
we get the bard.
Yeah.
So this is great, right? So this at least signals that they are going to play around picks, but also it's a roaming champion that could, ooh, this is exciting.
Roaming champion, but now you've got a very strong 2 versus 2 on FPX, and we're talking about the Twisted Fate. We know already FPX are going to go back to attacking bot.
I've loved whenever we see LWX on champions like Kalista or Lucian, like these types of champions that were meant to be lane dominant, because he does so well at them, pairing with Chris. They want to play a very dominant bot lane. You already talked about the plan, right? We know they're heading bot, and this is what I wanted to see. LGD are doing the opposite. Get the Bard, get the Syndra. You're playing for your 3-man core to head mid and playing for Xie.
But that means we need to see what Peanut picks up, and he hasn't picked up a jungler here, so expect the bans from FPX, while for LGD, they have access to take away junglers from Tien as well, or the solo laner from Gimgoon.
And this time you definitely expect some kind of jungler that, you know, pairs strong with the 2v2 with Syndra. So once again, we could just see him go back towards something like the Lee Sin. I think Lee Sin would be fine in LGD's comp. You're kind of already all-inning on a lot of early game power, but to be fair, FPX are doing the same.
Yep.
So it does look like this game will be decided very early on.
Will FPX just handshake and say, take Lee, that's fine. We'll look at something else, or if you're FPX, do you need something that can facilitate this big bot that you're building up?
I don't necessarily feel like there's any takeaway champion from LGD, because there's still quite a few things open in jungle, right? We have the Trundle still there, Lee Sin's still open, Olaf's still open. We've seen both junglers be willing to play the Rek'Sai.
Also put a very guaranteed timer on this game, it feels as well.
Set's still open as well,
yep.
So that's something we obviously saw Peanut pick up in game 1.
Rek'Sai, very targeted ban towards Peanut that we talked about. A lot less on the board.
Also very strong, you know, ganking jungle early on, very strong with the mid jungle 2v2. You flash knock up, set up the scatter of the week, so makes sense. We've seen Peanut solo carry a game on that champion. And I mean, so going to go back to what they've been doing every game. They've done this every game, 4th pick the Renekton for Long Xing. And now they're going to open up for Tien to get his hands on the Lee Sin. You know what's probably great? The people we have who watch LCK here in our chat and are like, why are these guys talking about Renekton and Lee Sin as priority champions? Yeah. Because in the LPL they are, and we get Gimgoon's Mordekaiser, a champion that, again, he's always been very proficient on.
But what do you want to see Peanut on here? This has been actually first ban in previous games. It's actually rolled through, the second ban phase every time.
I actually don't know how I feel. Okay, there we go.
Good,
I was going to say, you saw the look on my face with the Kindred. It was not a good look, but here, so we have some early dueling power in our jungle role. Trundle's a very strong, even level 2 gank, so maybe try to blow Juinbi's flash early, put some pressure onto him. But once again, we see LGD's comp definitely wants to come together more around mid. I think have the Bard hover over as well, look for these 3v3 skirmishes around mid lane. If Kramer can set up for Enchanted Crystal Arrow plays on Juinbi, or, you know, even on someone like Tien or something along these lines, I think Kramer has been one of our most proactive Ashes and looking for this play around the map. And then it also sets up for this kind of front-to-back team fight where we have the meat shields in Renekton and Trundle setting up for Syndra and Ashe.
Front to back with, on the side of FPX, all attention focused bot, right?
Yes. I mean, we have Mordekaiser topside, right? So you're not going to dive him. He's going to pull you to Death Realm. We have a Twisted Fate setting up for a Kalista, so we're going to be playing a lot around Dragons with that Ren, but also early skirmishing is the name of the game for both sides. It's just different where we get our pressure through. FPX are trying to get their pressure through bot with that Destiny play especially, to where LGD want to bring Bard mid and get pressure through mid.
We go into a Game 3 where we've had the best and worst of both teams. I said it before, where LGD showed us Some great play in game number 2, more decisive. FPX were the opposite, but game 1, they led this series off with a charge. We got the rock and roll music running into game 3 because we get our finale of this series. We get LGD and FPX fighting for playoff positions here and looking for the win that they'll reflect on and say, we bloody needed this one to hit top 8.
I knew this was going to be the banger game 3 when the waiting screen music was the gangster rap.
Oh.
That's how I always know it's going to be, you know, a back and forth game. So
That's true.
it's going to be nice to see. And hey, once again, these comps are setting up for early aggression. And we want to see a decisive win come out from either side. So I'm excited with the drafts we ended up here with.
We're talking about early skirmishing for both sides. That's why I'm excited. And when you mentioned that, I'm like, yeah, the drafts make me feel good. The Colonel's up and down on this one. Points towards LGD for the later game. And you talked very much about the front-to-back fights, of course. Easier to execute in a sense.
Yeah, and we saw he was higher up on FPX early game. And to me, that especially says, I mean, one, obviously we have this strong Callisto Bali, but actually, we don't have Halo Blades for once.
No, lethal tempo. So maybe built more towards those objectives or fights around the objectives, I guess.
Yeah, so obviously going to have stronger like power in the late game, right? Not just going to have to rely on 3 autos, going to have like a set amount of time for how long you have that attack speed. Also a bit more consistent with controlling your waves. Honestly, not too sure why LWX opted into this choice, especially when their comp does very much scream early power. But still, it's going to be nice that, so for FPX, the reason why I feel like their comp does have a bit more options in the like early mid game, like once we start hitting the level 6 mark, right, is because we have a global advantage in the mid lane. Doombi has TP and Destiny, so Shea won't be able to follow up very easily for wherever Doombi chooses to make a play. So LGD are really going to have to try to lock the Twisted Fate down in lane.
It's the first game in this series where we're not going to see, you know, matching each other, right? Where game 2 was the Silas, so it could still Doombi's ult and come down as well, but a bit of trading top, launching hit level 2 first. This time around, it's only going to be Doombi moving. We highlighted how LGD want to play this game with the 3 versus 3 mid. Shea setting up a ward nice and early here and actually doing better on the trading.
Yep, though we do see his mana pool. Syndra's mana costs are very annoying to deal with, spamming those Qs. W is pretty much a spell that a lot of Syndra players recommend you really never use in lane because the amount of damage it offers for how much mana you spend just really isn't there. So Doombi doing a good job in this lane to trade early, and this is traditionally thought of as a tough matchup for Twisted Fate, especially once we hit level 6. Ooh.
He walked into River. That ward placed down by Shea, absolutely great. The gold card put down, and look, bottom lane's coming up. It's a double flash with Scatter the Weak, and Peanut secures first blood. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to ward. As Peanut now lands on for the engage, it's everyone into the choke. Peanut will lose his life as magical journey overtaken by Crisp and LWX. The TP even being burnt by Gimgoon. It's Ren City for Mark. And boy, do I love this league when we fight at level 3.
And this is what we expected to see. Overall, great play coming out from LGD early to pick up the first kill onto Doombi. But as we saw, Peanut went a bit too far forward, got picked off. Kramer wasn't even in a good place to follow up with damage, right? He was stuck over the Dragon Pit wall. To where FPX can keep going forward, Doombi coming back in with the TP and getting 2 kills onto Peanut and Mark.
Yep.
But yeah, so we see here Doombi getting caught out with the pillar. Has to flash. Great double flash coming out from LGD to secure this kill. And then look where Mark is. Mark flashes over the wall. Doesn't actually have magical journey up this time. Apparently, Kramer can't follow in though. So we do see LGD left in a very awkward position with FPX's trio able to dish out all the damage. Plus also very strong in these early skirmishes, and they pick up 2 kills.
I misspoke. It wasn't Gimgoon to TP. It was actually Doombi who returned to the mid lane afterwards. Gimgoon stayed in his lane meanwhile, but you mentioned after or before the replay, it was LWX and TN who picked up the kills. When this comp's built around LWX's success and Lee Sin influencing it, well, a great start for FPX in this
Already
game
has
3.
the Berserker Greaves, so gonna feel quite nice early on with, you know, how Kliss likes to dance around in these early trades. So gonna be nice to see. And, you know, Gimgoon's having a hard time, but this is expected, you know, not only kind of in the matchup slightly, but also just the fact that it's Gimgoon. Not the strongest laner we have here in the LPL.
Very
he
much
is more of a role player.
Yeah. I was going to say we've very much gone back to an FPX playstyle, as most people remember them from last year. As with LWX to track that Berserker Grieve Kalista early, just receiving a wave down the bottom lane.
I just really wonder how she is so low. And he still doesn't reset once, so he was already low in mana early in the lane, but
used all corrupting potions.
it would be interesting to see like how he's managing his abilities. Because it's allowing Doinby just to have constant pressure in this lane.
Yeah. He's backing now. I think he's...
I mean, he needs to back. He has no mana.
I was going to say, the wild card almost hits. I think Doinby was just stopping the backs.
I mean, gonna open up for this easy Drake, right? Shea wasn't able to react, so... Very good start coming out from FPX.
And Tien going to get spotted out, looking for more.
And Doinby is 6. So this is where we're going to start seeing, right? Even now, we see him recalling towards the bottom half of the map, so putting constant pressure on Kramer and Mark. Even now, they're looking for it.
Okay, now we'll get spotted out. So yeah, even if you're backing away, moving into the fog of war, a threat that LGD have to respect.
We do see him pick up Merc Shreds, which I do feel like is the correct first item in this lane, especially with how much CC they have on their side too. Getting that tenacity is going to be nice. Getting a little bit of MR to handle the Syndra is going to be nice overall. And even switching to the heal to make sure he doesn't get bursted just in one combo.
But approaching his LGD towards the bottom side, Mark's starting to roam around. And what you wanted to see was that 3 core through the mid lane, helping out Shea.
Yeah, we have not gotten to see Mark move yet. And as you can see, right, if they aren't able to hold Doinby in lane, he's just going to be constantly hovering to sides, constantly putting fear in the heart of Kramer or even Longxing if he so chooses to. It's going to be quite tough to where the only way you can realistically shut that down is if you have Peanut player on mid, but even then, if Tien is answering, Doinby can just spam gold cards at the wave and try to find this push. So we definitely want to see Mark make an impact. Maybe just waiting for that level 6 point, especially where he has a Tempered Fate. But you even mentioned in Champ Select, not easy to leave your AD carry alone against the Kalista Nautilus. Going to be living under constant threat.
I think being Kramer in this game is going to show a lot of guts. We're not going to talk about top lane, guys, but I will mention Kim has caught back up in CS, which is nice. However, the wave crashing in for Longxing puts him at a small lead through this lane, but Kim has rushed the Ninja Tabi versus the Phage here for the Renekton. Crisp actually moving up to top side because Herald's spawning in 20 seconds. FPX have made a very early move.
Yeah, so nice like reset timings and objective timings coming out from FPX to make sure that you control this objective, make sure that LGD won't be the ones who are able to start this up. We also see push coming out in top side, but as we see now, Mark and Kramer are heading over, and you take a look at your minimap, LWX is not here.
No.
So this should be an LGD Herald.
Tien will start it off at the very least, though, until spotting and pinging down that Kramer's on his way. They'll realize that soon. Being
a good friend to Peanut, just helping, get a bit of
Give him
HP
a leash,
the Herald.
yeah. Scout of the week onto Chris, stretch line away. Shea lives on low mana this game, Lyric, but he does have the blue buff this time around, as Destiny's being used.
Ooh, we have Death Realm.
Okay, well, that'll solo them out. Onto the jungler, and Peanut wants to steal it away. Tien approaching the Herald, smite it away, but Shea's one who actually picks it up. Didn't catch the interaction. The kick flash, though, brings him back as the escape's there. They picked them out, targeted them out, and Tien now here, ready for Peanut. Doesn't even need the Sonic Wave. LGD might get the Herald, but they lose yet another fight in this third game.
Yeah, overall massive Death Realm coming out from Gimgoon, and Longxing did a good job of zoning Tien off, so he actually couldn't even walk up to the Herald to smite it. But, okay, so Longxing just going to get these trucks. But yeah, like you said, FPX found the better position for the team fight. Gimgoon playing it especially well, and even LWX doing a great job on this Kalista. And hey, when you're going to opt into something like Kalista, it's because you have confidence on this champion.
Yep.
So great to see him performing so well so far, and even almost at a Blade of the Rune King even now.
Works out well. I'm curious how the Herald was taken down. Peanut was in the Death Realm. Oh, the eye was hit.
Shea hit the eye, and then Shea just autoed it,
Okay.
looks like.
He scattered the weak, I think, but yeah, same thing.
But point is, Tien couldn't walk close to it because Longxing was zoning him off. Finds the kick onto Shea, which gets him close to Gimgoon. Gimgoon flashes over the wall, finds his kill. And Crisp and LWX on the other side of the fight, just securing 2 more kills for the side of LGD.
He would have been happy to come in just to pick up that kill, right? 2-0 and 3. And Blade of the Ruin King you mentioned before was almost picked up.
Look, I don't want to put fear. Oh, actually.
Who do you want to put fear in? Fate's call's available though. Chris doesn't have 6 himself. Tempered Fate on the turret. LWX has his ulti, but he's against the wall. Everything put into the Kalista, who gives the shutdown over to Renekton. And LGD in a choke, and Tien isn't touching that one with a 10-foot Lee Sin pole. As Longxing re-engaging, maybe it's not over.
Game3 doesn't have TP, so Longxing can keep going.
Gold card used. Slice and dice here onto the 2. Longxing happy to take this up with the dredge line for the re-engage. Tien shows himself. Meanwhile, Game3 going to keep farming up in the top side while turret plating getting traded. They want first turret blood. This is hard with so many members in Bulwark bonus.
And we're still going, though. So, okay, they're going to back off now. But overall, it's so nice to see both teams being so decisive around these plays.
Yeah. Dragon
is up, Game3 is not here, so you'd expect LGD to be able to look for this. But their members are so low that FPX might just be able to posture for a 4v5.
Doomby doesn't have Destiny, but not that he needs it. He's behind the pit. Dragon will go down. Sandwich doesn't come through, but Sonic Wave, Scout of the Week, ready. Stops Tien in his tracks. Cripple, not enough either. As Longxing's over the wall. Tien's still in a lot of danger, and Chris is blocked by the pillar. But Doomby can help push mid, get a bit of turret plating as the Dragon for their escape.
And Game3 has gotten so massive in this time, right? We see as a level lead right now. Is actually about to hit level 10. We don't know how close Longxing even is to level 9. Has gotten so much plate gold for himself. So now if Game3 is a member, we need to see step up in these team fights. Also went the Haunting Guys route, so it's going to be a lot more about that AoE damage he's putting out to the enemy team. Not about that Nashor's route of singling someone out in the death realm.
It's weird because we've kind of seen both, right? We've seen like a Nashor's burst into like a Leandri's 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, and it's definitely like... It's not even really been composition specific or like matchup specific to where we've seen it. We just kind of see each player has their own individual preference.
Okay.
And I mean, there's the gold graph, right? All of that gold is on Game3 right now, sitting almost 1K up over Longxing, and now has actually the full Leandries.
5,000 gold at 12 minutes in the game, ain't bad. Leandries, you mentioned, picked up as he sits on 100 CS. Does this influence the matchup? Are we... Because we know Renekton against Maud feels pretty good early in the game, but when does that tilt? Hang on. But when does that change, Lou?
I actually feel like you should start feeling pretty good in these trades, you know, at this first item mark.
Okay.
It definitely... It's my personal favorite item to get on Mordekaiser. It just feels so good. And, you know, whether we talked about the team fights, you know, having that AoE damage, especially with the your passive.
The AoE is insane, yeah.
Really nice, but also feels quite well in the 1v1.
And he's just hitting this turret away, pretty close to taking it. Might bait Longxing in.
There's no fear in his heart.
Well, he did back away. There's a little bit.
There was no fear. He queued.
Okay. There is no fear.
Point is, we came into this game saying, hey, we want to see a more decisive game. We want to see a team win this game, not a team like make a mistake and just lose the game.
Yeah.
And we're definitely seeing that. FPX to play way more decisive. Even LGD, at least with their last 2 responses, has been nice to see. It still does feel like FPX are firmly in control. They have what's about to be about a 3K gold lead with this turret going down, 3.5K gold lead.
Pretty massive.
They have Destiny coming up once again for Doinby. And they have the potential to just keep making plays around the map, trying to set Tien up with these picks.
What's kind of nice is it's the unexpected lead from FPX where, you know, we've seen them attack through bot, but attacking LGD on their way to starting a skirmish. But I'm sure we'll see more of that with the first item picked up by Doomby in the Rod of Ages, which is starting to stack up.
We also have Blade of the Ruin King just coming out for LWX, so... But there we go.
Yeah.
That's what I talked about. Like, that first item, Leandri's and Mordekaiser just feels so nice. Synergizes so well with your kit.
Level 11 versus level 10 Croc. Turret there to save him from the death realm, realistically, is Game3's going to be backing as well. 800 picked up from the turret plating in the top side. And overall 1,200 for FPX, making a big partial amount of that gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, Kramer's going to get some of that back now, right? He's going to pick up this bot lane turret, which is where they used their Herald play before, but FPX are actually back on the map first because you expect Kramer to look for a reset after getting this turret, so FPX should have a window where they'll be able to make a play.
They're starting the Herald though. The second Herald of the game. FPX are on it first.
Well, that is the play. That's the window.
This time LGD, no contester.
Yep, they're going to just opt into taking bot lane turret, which, again, makes sense. They were already here. Kramer just going to opt into getting this one so he can have enough gold to back. And he probably has played the Rune King himself at this point, can clear another wave, but you don't expect LGD to really push much further. With Dragon up in 55 seconds, it's definitely way more important to prioritize some good recall timings and fight for that objective. Especially in Infernal, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
both teams are definitely fighting for this objective. As I
pretty
say that, though, LWX stays top. I guess they have Herald. They could go for some kind of cheeky push onto an inhibitor.
They do draw the attention. I mean, one person can do this, but FPX moving up, Herald there. LWX backing away. And turret goes down. So a job well done. They move to mid, pulling LGD across the map. Then they can transition towards this dragon. Tentacles arrow hits the jungler.
Pay attention, Longshing's TP is about to be up, and look at FPX's bot side jungle. There's actually a lot of really good flank wards if Longshing wants to find some kind of play onto LWX or Doinby.
But there is a ward, I believe, in the same brush or nearby, so they'll know if he TP's in and starts running at them as Dredgeline waiting to connect from Chris maybe wasn't the call. Dragon's going to be started here in full vision.
I mean, Game3 is so strong right now pushing the bot side. You have a Callisto Red, so we know FPX's comp is definitely way better in front of these dragons. Very easy for them to secure, and LGD have no answer.
The Infernal of the game heading towards the Infernal Drake. Longshing trying to get a turret trade on this side of the map, where Gimgoon is not, but Doinby just walks up, clears that away himself, almost picks up every bit of CS. And on the bottom of your screen, you can see it's the Gimgoon game. Kisses his finger, says, one more win. I don't know.
Let's also remember that there's no, like, amazing tank for Peanut 2 steal stats in this game. Like, your obvious target's going to be Crisp, especially once he uses that Gargoyle Stone Plate, right? But that's going to be a very thin window for you to, like, find that massive ultimate that can set you up to be this, like, really large front line for the side of LGD.
Can I just point out, on a different train of thought, when you were talking about deep wards, look at FPX's deep wards. When they got the Rift Herald top, they put control ward. Look even towards outside their base. They've got some really deep flank wards themselves.
The thing is, their comp doesn't really want to flank. Like, because you look at their comp, right? I guess Doinby technically wants to flank in a sense that you could try to coordinate, engage with your other four going in as you Destiny behind. Yeah. And Mordekaiser are not really the champion to want to come in from behind. I feel like you're much better positioned, like, next to your AD carry, because just your position, just your threat is already like a zoning tool, right? Because they don't want to come into you because you have that chance of throwing someone into the death realm.
It's interesting then, because the other part of it is, well, the deep vision cracks Peanut.
Yeah, I mean, like, your point was right. The deep vision is amazing. Like, it's great for FPX to have that one. Just don't really see their comp looking for flanks, but the deep vision overall is good. But looks like now LGD have actually cleared out most of it, other than that one control ward in the one topside brush.
That's when you TP in as Doinby.
No,
you're going to push the inhibitor turret.
Yes, but that's when Gamegoon rushes a Nashor's Tooth next.
Yeah.
He TP's on that turret, and they just rush down turrets.
Have you noticed he got a Rylai's second here? And now going to pull it in. Death Realm. Oh, Peanut's pulled back out of the magical journey to Death's Grasp. And this Trundle in a living hell. Pulled back in as he comes on out. The kick over. But Ignite's down. Peanut doesn't die. And Tien. No, he's going to the naughty corner.
Yeah, that was disappointing. But
didn't really need that.
Overall, going back. Ooh, shit. I don't think she. Oh, God.
Unleash power. Shield does help quite a bit. The last few comes through, and hang on a minute. Gimgoon with one more whack. The flash over. The dodge. 1, 2. Skip a few, and Scout of the Week will make 100.
That was interesting. I'm actually surprised how much damage she did to him, but. Ooh. Okay,
Scout of the Week again.
He's dead.
Yeah, Xie gets hit by a martial arts expert. LWX gets a kill, and that feels nice.
Yeah, but looks like Longshing at least going to return some gold on the opposite side of the map. And going back to what you're mentioning about builds, right? It just makes sense for Gamegoon to go towards that Rylai. So obviously the synergy it has with the Liandry's getting that 1% increased HP damage since units will be impaired. But yeah, that first fight in the bottom side LGD jungle was quite disappointing. Feels like they could have gotten a lot more off of that.
Yeah. But hey, comparison to the last couple of games, so far I'm still pleased.
Oh, this game has been awesome.
I feel like we have trudged through the mud to get to, what would you call this?
That was interesting. Hits you, lands with the passive damage going down.
Let's talk about what went wrong.
Like,
Peanut did have flash.
I still just don't understand why you needed to kick. I mean, I understand he was trying to nuke him, but I feel like he would have been dead regardless.
Yeah. As they say, stuff happens.
Yeah, I agree.
In a less PG rated way.
That is another fact you're spitting today. Stuff does happen.
I do spit stuff. Hey, 40 seconds. Elder, not on the cards. Instead, I meant to say Infernal, up in 35. And we got 2 items across the board for FPX. Even the support now with Stoneplate for Crisp. Almost 2 items here for everyone on LGD.
I mean, and for the side of LGD, right, you either need to catch someone stepping forward with Enchanted Crystal Arrow or land some kind of massive Tempered Fate. Let's say on like 3 or 4 men, like especially doing being LWX is the obvious choices, which sets up for, a Scout of the Week from Xie into his ultimate with Longxing able to, slice and dice on top of those carries. You need some kind of big combo like that.
But at the very least, you need to make sure you're not caught out by Gimgoon.
Oh.
Scout of the Week does connect. Gimgoon's rolling in. LGD in a choke over the wall. It's Kramer who's pulled in with Gimgoon in the middle. They turn on Longxing. The Fate's Call used into 3. And for LGD, the Wombo set upon them, but Tien will die. Kramer matches him. And forward once again onto LWX. Longxing gets the 80 carry. That's big, but Gimgoon survives until the soccer balls, volleyballs, the balls go into him.
I mean, LWX and Tien trolled that fight so hard. Like, there's no other way to say it. Tien going in at first, trying to find, it looked like he was trying to find an insect kick someone into his team. Obviously got hit by the Scout of the Week. Gimgoon then with a great reaction, jumps right in the middle of the team, pulls someone into the death realm, kind of like separates them. Longxing is then left in a really awkward position in the middle of everyone, has to instantly flash out. And then we saw, right, LWX, I don't know if he just jumped or flashed over the wall, but he jumped right into Longxing. So, not a good look from Tien and LWX. Great play by Gimgoon in that fight.
Goonby's just approaching 3 people. That's because TP's on the backside. And here comes the Goon. Once more, the Death Grasp sent back. And he's got the AoE, sir. But the problem is now, will he survive? Kramer pokes him out, and yes, the answer is definitely yes. Could have been a lot worse, but we're throwing some punches.
And we need to remember that the build he's gone with isn't the tankiest, right? He's a bunch of health, but he hasn't built that Zhonya's yet, which it looks like he's on that way to now.
Yep.
So, can still be taken down quite easily.
Still does a bucket load, but is 20 CS behind his counterpart. And Longxing, for someone who has been against a pretty fed Mordekaiser, has done reasonably well this game.
I do want to say, this definitely feels like 2 teams who are in a similar standing of the table.
Yeah.
Like the fact that this is our number 7 team in LGD versus our number 8, it definitely feels like that. And this would be a best of 5 that would be interesting to see in playoffs.
If we got the best caliber.
Yes.
Yes. Either way, no, interesting's the right word either way, is Colonel says FunPlus.
I actually don't feel like it's as one-sided as he thinks it is at this point.
I don't think
like,
the Colonel's right a lot.
The big, I agree with that. Oh God, I've seen some questionable graphs, but I've seen questionable graphs about drafts. So
dude, the Colonel, he makes me second guess my thoughts on broadcast.
The thing is, I feel like Gimgoon is so massive though that is kind of why I'm feeling the Colonel in that graph a little bit. But at the same time, I mean, LGD are 2 dragons for 2 dragons. They're only 3k gold down.
Yep.
Again, this Trundle's going to become a massive frontline later in the game, especially if he could ult Chris.
You talked about front to back, but let's pause because Gimgoon onto Longxing. I'm now curious about this one. It's a dominance. I don't think Longxing's going to die as easy, but Doomby, as he comes out of Death Room, will be there with the gold card available. Still a lot of damage. Longxing survives for now. Dodges away with a slice and dice. And it was a nice try, but the shutdown goes over to Gimgoon once again, who's got 4 kills. Meanwhile, LGD are mid lane, pushing as 4, and FPX have to respect and back away.
Yep, so gonna lose out a bit in the end. Just both of you picking up some gold, maybe Doomby can put some... Ooh. That was a very aggressive tunnel for just the Bard.
You can see the thought process, though.
Yes. Yes, you could. And I mean, still that kill that Game3 picked up does secure him his 3rd item. So finally has that Zhonya's.
So we're at a 3K gold lead. We know that FPX don't have that front to back that you talked about with LGD. You wanted to see early skirmishing. We've gotten that. Now we're at 25 minutes in the game where you've got a 3-item Mordekaiser who...
I mean... Oh, sorry, I keep going.
No. Pretty much finished there.
But I wanted to hear your opinions.
Who... Can he be does Lungshing matches him though, right?
I mean, at this point, like Game3's not going to threaten a side lane turret,
no.
if that's what you're asking. So realistically, I don't feel like either of them should be able to solo kill each other in a side lane. Obviously, the thing is going to be if DoNB joins, like we saw in that last fight. But for me, LGD are getting to a point where their comp is definitely coming online. We even saw Kramer pick up the QSS finally, so not going to be as threatened. The thing is, right now, Game3 just so far ahead that I'd still favor FPX in these fights. But let's say both comps get to a point where it's like 4 items versus 4 items. Then it depends on kind of where the fight takes place and how these skill shots come out. But we said, if Mark can land a good Tempered Fate, if we fight in the corridor, she can hit a really good Scout of the Week, I actually favor the DPS and the damage coming out from LGD's side.
Okay.
But we're not at that point yet. Again, FPX are still ahead in items.
But as well, if we get to LGD on Soul Point, something like that debated in FPX, or if they pick up the Infernal Soul somehow, kind of exemplifies your point as well.
Even just some more time you buy, right? If LGD pick up this Drake and then FPX get the next one or vice versa, the more time you create, the better it is for LGD.
Teleport being used. Hang on. DoNB's going top. Now, he does have his Destiny available, but he's clearing out this wave. LGD pings are getting put down with 40 seconds to this Dragon, but after clearing out that wave, putting a bit of pressure towards the top lane.
So they're going to force Longxing to have to TP, but actually Longxing could honestly even ignore that wave if he wanted and just head right straight towards mid.
Not going to, I guess.
So he's going to be forced to TP once again. There are some wards there for a flank.
Destiny, flash from Chris, forces out one from Xie. Sonic Wave connects, DoNB's in. Here comes the kick time. Sends Kramer back towards DoNB as LWX onto Mark. A 1-for-1 now, but with the Fate's call and LGD's numbers disadvantage, that's going to be all she wrote. Teleport burnt by Lungxing, but it's too late. Way too late.
And that was the decisiveness that we've talked about this whole match, and it was great to see it come out from FPX. DoNB coming in with the clutch ultimate. Very interesting play too, right? DoNB TP's top, pulls Longxing's pressure there, and then they use this window to find this pick with the Destiny. Tien goes down in the end, but guess what? You have a Kalista.
Yeah, onto the Baron they go. And LGD only have Kramer and Lungxing, so give that one up, take the Dragon, and maybe you can try and delay this game out, but with a Twisted Fate and with the way this team is, FPX with Baron is going to be hard to stop.
This is the best decision LGD could make in this position, so I understand it. Even FPX's, I don't know if I'd agree with just going with Baron here, but I do understand their choice because we keep saying, right, this comp wanted to accelerate, this comp wanted to start snowballing the game, so Baron definitely going to be a lot better of an accelerator rather than have they just picked another Infernal. But yeah, we see the kick come on to Kramer, which actually doesn't end up being much. He doesn't have to burn Flash, but the big thing is this dredge line coming in from Crisp, and then the Fate's Call, throwing him back into team fight, making it so LWX can pick up a bunch of these kills.
And then Lungxing TP'd in the end, unfortunately. It was way too late. Not sure if it would have made the biggest difference anyway.
Oh, we also see that LWX picked up the Mercurial Scimitar. Did I say that right?
I think it's Scimitar, isn't it?
Scimitar.
I learned from RuneScape.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. It was always the favorite weapon.
Was it really?
I think so. I like the look of it. I don't know. The 8-bit look.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. It was kind of cool.
Also, I remember, with the scorpions in Al-Kharid or whatever it's called. It's been a while. It's been a while.
It has been a while, but point is he has it now, so a lot of that CC locking him down, isn't going to be as effective.
But with Baron, this team pretty rough as Kramer's actually caught out. QSS is through the mid lane. Tempered Fate locks down 3 people. Xie is coming in. They're lined up like ducks in a row. But the Fate's Call for the re-engage. A double knockout once again as tanking through is Game3 in the Death Realm. But he gets Xie. Goes golden while a point-blank arrow from Kramer seals the deal. But with LGD backing away and 4 of FPX with Baron, this could be the game.
Yeah, give good STP, so they're going to come back in. I definitely think it is. I think FPX has this one.
Big wave
Ooh.
building up, but Chris doesn't get the engage. It's up to Mark here as well to get another Cosmic Binding, but Gimgoon is quite large and in charge. Kramer dodges away from the Death Grasp. Lungshi gets pulled on in after slicing and dicing away. Forward they go. Mark with the magical journey just over the wall. Gimgoon is the target, but they're ending the game. And FPX just have a bare Nexus in front of them with low health bars. They've done it though. They take down LGD, and playoffs still on their horizon.
And it's so nice that Game 3 of this series ended up being the decisive finisher. Great game overall from Gimgoon. I think he played a lot of these fights extremely well. Duinby even right there high-fiving him. Duinby was putting constant pressure on that map.
Yep.
That creative call to TP top kind of put some pressure